Good morning everyone. Today we are going to discuss unit number 6, that is wireless local area network. In this unit we are going to discuss the different wireless local area networks such as IEEE 802.11, then Hyperlan, then Bluetooth. So these three different wireless local area networks we are going to study in this unit. But before going to discuss all these wireless local area networks, we are going to discuss the two different technologies by which we can establish the local area network, such as infrared and radio waves. In addition to that, we are going to discuss the different advantages and design goals of wireless local area network. And also we are going to discuss the two different modes by which wireless local area network can be established, that is infrastructure mode and ad hoc mode. So first of all we will see about the introduction of wireless local area network. As we know that this is the fast growing market, introducing the flexibility of wireless access into the office, home or production environment. The goal of wireless local area network is, or we can say primary goal is, to replace cabling to enable the good access to the internet and to produce higher flexibility for the communication. So as I already said, we can establish the wireless local area network by using the two different mediums or technologies for establishing the communication. Those two different technologies are nothing but we can establish by using infrared or by using the radio waves. We can establish the wireless local area network. So first of all we will see about the infrared. That is, infrared technology is nothing but which uses the diffuse light which is reflected at walls, furnitures, obstacles or directed light if the line of sight exists between sender and receiver. In easier word we can say that this infrared technology uses the diffuse light which will be reflected at walls, furniture and obstacles, or also we can use the directed light into the infrared mode if there is a line of sight exist. The line of sight is nothing but if there is no any obstacle in between the sender and receiver, then we can use directed light into the infrastructure mode. In this infrastructure mode, the senders are nothing but simple light emitting diodes, that is LEDs, or we can use laser diode as a sender into the infrastructure mode, whereas the photodiodes acts as receiver into this infrastructure technology. The advantages of using the infrastructure mode is nothing but the infrared technologies are very simple and extremely cheap senders and receivers which are integrated into nearly all the mobile devices which are available today. So the first advantage we can say that this is very cheap, or we can say whichever the sender and receiver we have to use, those are very cheap. And other one is we can say that senders and receiver can be integrated into all the devices or mobile devices which are available today. Today's PDAs, laptops, notebooks, mobile phone, etc. have an infrared association interface in every devices. The another advantage is that the no license are needed for infrared technology and shielding is very simple. So whichever the devices which have this infrared association, that does not require, or which that devices does not require any licenses to use that infrared into the transmission. And another advantage is that electrical devices do not interfere with the infrared transmission. It means that the other electrical devices cannot interfere into the infrared transmission. Whereas this infrared association have also some disadvantages. That first disadvantage is the infrared transmission is having very low bandwidth as compared to other local area networks. The another disadvantage is that the another disadvantage is that infrared transmission cannot penetrate walls or other obstacles. In simple words, we can say that whenever we are going to use the infrared transmission, those infrared cannot penetrate walls and other obstacles during the transmission. Typically, the good transmission quality and higher data rates can be achieved only where there is a line of sight exists in between sender and receiver. In short, we can say that the good quality can be achieved whenever only there is a line of sight in between sender and receiver. Now we will move towards the radio waves transmission, which can be used to establish the local area network or wireless local area network. In today's life, almost all networks which uses the radio waves rather than using the infrared for the transmission. The most basic example is that GSM. The advantages of using the radio waves into the transmission is that the radio transmission includes the long-term experiences with radio transmission for wide area network and mobile cellular phone. So the first advantage we can say in terms of distance, that distance covered by radio waves as compared to infrared is more. The radio transmission can cover larger areas and can penetrate walls, furniture, obstacles. Additional coverage is gained by reflection. Radio typically does not need any line of sight if the frequencies are not too high. In easier word, we can say that we have seen the limitation of infrared is that infrared cannot penetrate walls and obstacles, but there is no such problem for the radio waves. The radio waves can cover larger distance and also can penetrate the walls and furniture during the transmission. One more additional advantage we can say about this radio waves is due to reflection it will gain more or it will cover more distance if some obstacles or we can say walls comes in between sender and receiver. Furthermore, radio based products offer much higher transmission rate than the infrared. So the higher or you can say the data rate which we can achieve by using the radio waves is up to 54 mbits per second, whereas the transmission rate by using the infrared transmission is very low as compared to radio waves. But similarly as infrared, these radio waves also have some disadvantages. So the first disadvantage is that the radio transmission can interfere with other senders or electrical devices can destroy the data transmitted via radio waves. The first disadvantage is that radio waves of two different senders can be mixed with each other, so there might be the possibility of creation of noise during the transmission, and also the electrical devices can destroy the data which is transmitted by using the radio waves. In addition to that, another disadvantage is that whichever the radio waves which we are going to use, that radio waves have very permitted certain frequency bands by which we can transmit the data. it means that we can say that very limited range of frequency band is available for the transmission by using the radio waves. And the last disadvantage is that very few license free frequency bands which are available worldwide, and those are available and that are available are not the same in all the countries. In other words, we can say that whichever the license free frequency band which are available for the radio transmission or in the radio transmission, which are very limited, and whichever the license free frequency bands which are available worldwide, those are very limited. It means that whichever the free license free frequency bands are available in one country, that may not be available in another country. So these are nothing but the two different disadvantages of radio waves. So we have seen the two different technologies, that is infrared and radio waves, by which we can establish the wireless local area network. So this question can be asked: compare infrared and radio waves for the establishing local area network, for 4 marks. Thank you.